Thanks for staying with us. We're going to start with the nation. APC PCC, Obi's backing by Obasanjo Clark weakens PDP. Tinubu deserves credit for Lagos transformation, says Sanwo-Olu. Police recover body of murdered couple's son from Ogun River. Why 23.7 trillion naira CBN loan must be restructured by Buhari. Pele buried on 9th floor of cemetery. INEC to Nigerians, be wary of fake ad hoc officials. Air peace targets expansion to UK, India, Israel, and others. Election or your PDP crisis widens. Okay?
Comes out with the major headlines. So the APC presidential campaign council spokesperson, Festus Keyamo, was responding to the endorsement of Peter Obi, the Labour Party candidate, by our former President Obasanjo, and also Edwin, the former Minister for Information and Pan-Deaf leader, Edwin Clark. So he was saying that their endorsement of an LP candidate, instead of, since they are known to be affiliates of PDP, has further weakened the candidature of Atiku Abubakar. It was like, and then he says that if you also look at it since 2019, the APC structure has been solid, but all those who have been against the APC seem to be falling by the wayside. The spokesperson for PDP saying that it does not matter what these endorsements are, or who are giving these endorsements, it would not take away from Atiku Abubakar becoming president in 2023. They also, Mr. Edwin Clark explained why he endorsed the LP candidate. He says that the agreement was that after Buhari had run his own course, it was supposed to move, to the south, and so he did not think it was fair that Atiku Abubakar should be running for president now, and that's why he has endorsed the LP candidate.
So we like when Nigerians are making progress. So I'm pretty excited to see that Air Peace, a Nigerian carrier, will be expanding to Israel, London, India, Congo, Kinshasa, Togo, and Malabo. They stated that they've increased their frequencies to other countries such as Accra, Monrovia, Freetown, Banjul, and Dakar. These routes are now going to be having more frequent routes. This is good news because it's important to know that when you have a Nigerian, we don't have our own Nigerian airline just yet, but this is a Nigerian-owned one which has been given the opportunity to expand. So those are good news for those who frequent flyers. And according to them, they've had about 55 million passengers for the past 8 years since they started. That's huge.
That's huge.
That's huge.
So INEC is warning Nigerians. So the chief press secretary to the chairman of INEC, Mr. Rotimi Oyokomi, said yesterday that there's no further recruitment on INEC for INEC ad hoc staff on their website. Yes, they had, issued a notice for recruitment to open, for the website to open for recruitment for ad hoc staff September 7th and close December 14th, and they followed that agreement, and that has stopped since December 14th. But they hear people saying that they are, applying for ad hoc staff on their website, and that is false. So Nigerians should be careful of being defrauded.
Okay. So I want to take the story of when the governor of Lagos State was on Your View on Monday. He mentioned that the former governor of Lagos State and current candidate for the APC, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, deserves credit for Lagos transformation when the question was posed to him about the connection between Asiwaju Tinubu and Lagos State. He said that he had been in the executive council since he got into working with the former governor then in 2002, and he's had a relationship with him for 20 years. He mentioned how the former governor of Lagos State, current candidate of APC, put together the strategy called LASEED, the Lagos State Economic Empowerment Development Strategy, or SEEDS, that strategy economic development that was now morphed into, it was a 10-point agenda, and it's morphed over the years, and it is from that the blueprint for Lagos State came out from, that it was a development master plan for Lagos State, and he also came up with a Enyigbeti, which has been consistent since then. He in the story from The Nation, they mentioned how the governor mentioned his respect for Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu as a father and as someone who is doing the right thing and someone that is proud of to be at the helms of affairs.
Moving on quickly now to the Punch. PVCs, 6.7 million uncollected in 17 states. INEC targets market. Picture here, Pelé, millions beat football Orisha. Farewell. Ogun. Murdered couple's son found tied and drowned. Reps want EFCC against selling assets to looters. ASU protests as FG withholds union dues. 22 trillion naira loan to attract additional 1.8 trillion naira interest, says Buhari. Why I declined to marry terrorist commander, says train attack victim. Railway debt servicing gulps 246 billion naira. China COVID-19, FG fears spread. 16 countries impose restrictions. Okay, which story?
Let me take the major headliners again. So the INEC is saying that 6.7 million Nigerians have yet to collect their PVCs. They said that these PVCs are locked up in INEC safes across 17 states and also the FCT. As we all remember, the PVC collection commenced December 12, that's last year, and it's supposed to run up until January this year, but January 22nd. But they're also saying that from the 6th to the 15th, collection will be moved to the ward level and thereafter to the local government level. They also give a breakdown of different states, you know, and the PVCs that have been collected and those that are yet to be collected. In the FCT, they said they have 604,000 uncollected PVC as of December 24th. Yeah. So it's just to say that Nigerians, to vote is to collect your PVC.
Well, I'm happy because it's a program. But I remember taking the story, there were about 18 million unpicked at some point. So obviously people have picked. Yeah. We need more. And I hear that they also open on Saturdays and Sundays.
Yes.
Just to allow
Please, just allow it. So you have no excuse.
So the completion of your registration is to pick it up.
Simple. After church, go there. After mosque, go there. Let's go on a break. When we come with us, we've been following a story in Punch about the gruesome murder of a couple. The names are Bukola Fatinoye and Kehinde. They were killed 3 days ago. Now their son, Oreoluwa Fatinoye, was found dead in the Ogun State River. According to the reports, after these two were killed and their houses burnt, the help and the son were abducted by the perpetrators, and now the police had gone out to saying that, they heard that the boy was thrown over the river, and they were asking the fishermen to see if they will ever find the body. So yesterday morning at 7:30, they called a call from a fisherman saying that they've discovered the body, and they were checking all the equipment to see. They didn't say anything about the help, but they did find
They found the boy with his hand
tied to his back.
So definitely was drowned deliberately. It was so painful.
So the police obviously, the investigations are ongoing to find the perpetrators, and they said the suspect has been arrested over the incident so far.
That's what
they said.
Okay, thank
you. Oyemi said that the suspect had been arrested over the incident. We don't know who that's Oyemi. That's the SP Abimbola Oyemi, and the public PRO, public relations officer. Okay.
So the Punch did a report through the DMO, the Debt Management Office, and found out that 246.11 billion naira has been spent servicing debt on the railway finances between 2016 and 2022. And the report showed how it continued to grow, the debt servicing continued to grow, and the report also carried the revenue generated. Sadly, not near. The railway continued to lose revenue over insecurity recently, and then maybe in the beginning, lack of proper management of finances. But the story just did not encourage, borrowing to do anything, because now they've taken this loan. They're not generating enough services, and there are several other circumstances impeding.
And the interest on the loan is increasing.
Increasing, of course. So other circumstances impeding that. I hope that they get it right with security, because that could take us 10 steps backwards.
I remember the interview we had Mr. Rotimi Amechi when he was explaining that, see, with the railway or projects like this, it's not really like a for-profit project. It's really to help, you know, with the lifestyle of our people. But having trains now, what to do, open up the economy and bring about better businesses, which will eventually sort of make up for that. So from the trains themselves, I don't think that they're expecting that there'll be a lot of profit to pay up for the loans.
So we have the stories of Louise Azufa, a 21-year-old undergraduate that was among the 65 that were kidnapped, still linked to the train issue in Kaduna, the Kaduna train attack. Louise Azufa was kidnapped and she was in their custody for 6 months, 3 weeks. Like, she was there all through. And she said that she was propositioned to be married by one of the commanders, and that she told the man that the story, she said Leah Sheribu flashed in her mind the fact that she didn't want to become another Leah Sheribu, a Christian who was going to be now put into captivity and married off and living a life in that space. She didn't want it, that she kept praying. She also mentioned the fact that the particular people that kidnapped her they didn't go into rape or molestation, that they said they were not into it, and that they didn't have doctors, but they were able to bring in drugs, that there were nurses and doctors in captivity who were now treating any patients. She's not aware of how ransom was settled, but she knew a few people were being released. She just gave her account of the ordeal. Of course, she wants to escape out of Nigeria if she sees the opportunity, because she still has the flashback of the terror that she experienced and all of that. But we're thankful for our own life, and our heart goes out to those that could not make it out alive, you know.
You know, I'm still asking if we're giving them the necessary mental health help that they need.
Okay, the Sun anger agony as banks stick to old Naira notes. Presidential poll mock endorsements for Peter Obi. NMA to shut down hospitals in Delta over murder of doctor. My attackers came to kill me. They are beyond IPOP, says Ohakim. Buhari signs 2023 appropriation bill into law. Second Niger Brit Obi of Onitsha denies presidency's claim. World Bank blames rising inflation on CBN's loans to federal government. Okay, which story?
So this report clearly took a vox pop around the country of Nigerians and how they are dealing with the deadline approaching for when the old Naira notes will become no longer be legal tender, and they found out that, you know, there's scarcity. People are groaning, saying that even at ATMs, bank counter withdrawals and all of that, they're still, you know, dishing out the old Naira notes. The new Naira notes are scarce. And they also went around banks, outside Nigerians, they went around banks, and some banks are opening up on how the notes are not necessarily available. So we're expecting that by now, they should be giving us from ATM, but maybe they will shift that deadline. Because
likely to.
As it be now,
that's a
like,
very Nigerian thing.
That's very likely. Definitely, you have to shift it.
But then I was thinking maybe it has to do with the fact that they want us to use less cash, and so by the time they finally phase it out,
take cash by money.
It's really hard to get cash itself. I have the story for the Nigerian Medical Association in threatening to shut down all hospitals in Delta State. We took the story yesterday of the Dr. Uyi Ilobe, who was murdered by relatives of a patient. And there are different stories, you know, surrounding what happened. One of the accounts is that a particular patient rushed into his hospital, which was quite in pain, and that even before any registration of that patient could take place, the doctor was already seeing to her, and then these relatives came in and shot this doctor. And so they do not have the information about that particular patient, because they said once the doctor was killed, the patient got up and went into the car that the assailants came in. And so, but they're also saying that the reason that this happened to this doctor is that a gunshot victim had been brought in, and he insisted on a police report before he could see that that patient. So I think we'll wait to hear what the NMA does and what police would do, and, you know, the justice that will take place, action that will take place concerning this.
Wait, still son? The Vanguard, FG risk paying 1.8 trillion naira interest on 23.7 trillion naira loan, says Buhari. Clark Otom endorsed Peter Obi. Tinubu brain behind modern Lagos, says Sanwo-Olu. How I escaped death, ex-Imo Governor Ohakim says. COVID-19 travel restrictions didn't have public health benefits, says NCDC. Second Niger breach, I had no altercation with OBJ. Obi of Onitsha counters presidency. Apapa Ushudi, traffic chaos. Unending tales of pain, tears, and lamentation. Okay, which story?
Former governor of Imo State, Mr. Ikeji Ohakim. You mentioned, that he was attacked by some people had said they were IPOB, but he says that he thinks that he does not think that they are IPOB, that these people were professional assassins, that they were looking to kill him. He was in a bulletproof car with two of his children, a son and daughter, and his driver. And then he was being escorted by his police escort, 4 of them, 3 of them and a driver. Unfortunately, the driver and the police officers were killed in their own vehicle. He said the only thing that saved him, his daughters and his own particular driver, was because they were in a bulletproof car. He said that these people chased them they kept chasing them. They had shot at their tires, but luckily these tires are tires that can run even when they are deflated. And he says it took them about 20 minutes after they had sort of lost their assailants to drive back home. He says the only thing that saved them is that they were in a bulletproof car. He was so heartbroken that the lives of the police officer and the drivers were lost. But he says that he does not think it's IPOB, that these people were trained assassins to come and get him.
I want to take the story of House of Representatives warning the EFCC, who's about to auction off a few properties that were seized from Nigerians, not to sell those properties to looters. So the EFCC, the ad hoc committee on assessment and status of all recovered loot, movable, immovable assets from 2002 to 2020 by agencies of government has asked the EFCC not to sell these properties to looters. These properties include 649 forfeited vehicles across 9 states, including the FCT, 15 vessels badged in Rivers State, Lagos State, as well as Delta, 11 laptops, 144 luxury houses and lands have been seized. However, Ogun said that they can't slow down on the sale, that the sales is very urgent now because some of these vessels have already deteriorated. Many properties have lost value because there's no way they could have been maintained while they were seized, and the government needs money, so they rushing to sell it, and they are going through the assessments right now before sales would start.
Right. Okay, that's all we can take. Shame on us. We didn't take Pele.
Yeah, and Pele was a hero.
Nobody has taken
Pele is a hero of football.
He's one of the hero, and ladies of your view don't know that.
We know. I grew up watching Pele. What?